Your testimony. Chairman Calvert, you're recognized for your statement.
Thank you, Chairman Burgess and Ranking Member McGovern. I'm sure your former Chairman, Mr. Cole, is watching this debate. He had a good week last week. Congratulations to the Chairman. We wish him well. This fiscal year 2025 Defense Appropriation Bill provides $833 billion for the Department of Defense and the intelligence community. Consistent with the Fiscal Responsibility Act, this is $8.5 billion or 1% above the fiscal year 24 enacted level. While $833 billion is the discretionary cap, the subcommittee has little discretion over 62% of the bill. The funding goes toward must-pay bills, including troop and civilian pay, military benefits, medical care and family services, sustainment of current weapon systems, fuel, utilities, IT, basic supplies, and certainly training and education. This is to say nothing of necessary investments in major weapon systems to keep our military dominant in an intensifying threat environment. This combination leads me to the conclusion that defense allocation under FRA is too low. I know that will be a shock to some people, but I believe it's too low for today's needs. That said, FRA is the law of the land. To provide a capable, lethal, and readily usable military within these fiscal constraints, the Defense Subcommittee scrutinized the fiscal year 25 budget requests line by line, held numerous bipartisan engagements with senior Department of Defense officials, and conducted rigorous oversight, resulting in roughly $18 billion in cuts. Many of these cuts are due to schedule delays, unjustified cost increases, under execution, or other programmatic adjustments. In many cases, the department simply did not provide clear and adequate justification, and we're not going to give any blank checks. Turning to the details, the bill continues the investments made in fiscal year 24 by prioritizing funding for the fight against China, promoting innovation and the modernization of our military, supporting our service members and their families, optimizing the Pentagon's civilian workforce, enhancing the department's role in countering the flow of illicit fentanyl and synthetic opioids, supporting America's close ally Israel, and ensuring the department is focused on its core mission of training and equipping our warfighters. The only way to prevent Chinese aggression is by fielding and operating capability that demonstrates American military advantages. President Xi is planning to invade Taiwan potentially by 2027, maybe sooner. The United States must be ready. This bill increases investments in 5th and 6th generation aircraft, procures deliverable capability, including several Indo-PACOM unfunded priorities. It prohibits the divestment of certain naval and air assets that are still combat credible. And it provides $200 million for Taiwan security cooperation programs while prioritizing defense articles and services to the threatened island. The bill continues to invest in the reawakening of American defense innovation. To understand this imperative, we must think back to 1993, when then Secretary of Defense Les Aspin hosted the defense contractor version of the Last Supper. He had a simple message to the 24 defense prime contractors present. One word: consolidate. 31 years later, the consequences of this decision mandate action. As evidenced by endless reporting, our defense industrial base is very fragile and competition is stifled. Almost every major defense acquisition program is plagued by constant issues: persistent inflation, aging workforce, costly infrastructure, weak supply chain, overly optimistic schedules, unrealistic budgets, and overpromised results. To procure modern capability on an accelerated timeline, this year's bill once again provides significant investment in innovation and modernization. The bill reflects the requirement to leverage the innovation community and American entrepreneurs to rise to the occasion. The bill also maintains high levels of funding for the department's drug interdiction and counter-drug activity, adding $242 million above the President's request and increasing funding for the National Guard counter-drug program and the National Guard Youth Challenge program to empower states to take a more active role in the defense of their community. The bill also transfers Mexico from NORTHCOM to SOUTHCOM for improved coordination and prioritization. As I mentioned at the outset, this bill focuses the department on its warfighting mission. The bill includes a number of general provisions carried in the House Fiscal Year 24 bill that send this clear message to the department by pivoting it away from the culture wars. Finally, underpinning these priorities is the imperative to support our service members and their families. The bill includes a 4.5% pay raise for all military personnel, includes $2.5 billion toward an additional 15% pay raise for junior enlisted service members. This will have a significant positive impact on the recruitment and retention and will improve the quality of life for our service members and their families. Before I close, I'd like to comment on the number of amendments that have been submitted. This year, over 400 amendments have been filed, valued at about $6.4 billion. That's just shy of 1% increase allocated for the defense this year under the FRA. I support an open and transparent process, and I support the intent of many of the funding amendments. However, I'm concerned that the sheer volume of amendments, coupled with a tight top line, complicates our efforts to produce a bill that provides the resources necessary to deter and, if necessary, win a war. In short, this bill procures where we can, trains where we must, and invests in capability that will make our adversaries wake up every day and say, today is not the day to provoke the United States of America. I look forward to working with all of you and to achieve that end. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll yield back, and my good friend, the ranking member, has her statement.
Yes.